see is good. Up and down the floor. And when you're talking to me, nothing but even talk. I don't like it like that. This is my fucking place. Bricks stand me there. I'm in him Fred, the girls them Ted. Start it. Me say me want some dirty money in my clean pocket money. It's all up can't hold in my wallet. Invest some money for it.
Okay, as requested. Fire up the Derek. Take a drag. Starts to hold it in, but I can't hold my breath for that long.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is. I look for the invention of artificial life, the cloning of human beings, possible.
But McKenna had a very particular position on language, and something that he was conscious of was, first of all, he's by no means the to make this make sense, because to most normal people, which I believe most people here are, it's probably not that interesting. It's probably like, what are they all talking about? Like, what's going on? And so what's happened is, because Creative Scotland have a period of COVID where we had Johnson and Dominic Cummings and Matt Hancock and all of these absolute teapots, these Etonian teapots, just continually making a here, like, you know, and just being exposed.
It a fi mad me, 10 and 20. It a fi kill me, $100 bill now. It a fi mad me, $50 bill now.
Don't want nothing from Babylon. No satisfied till flames take Vatican. Slave master vanish like magician. Him no ease up fi no dirty politician.
Genocide can't be just tolerated, it just can't be something we see on the news. It has to be real to people, and that's why we're here today.
Can't take way out of the motherland.
Same Labour Party, and the Labour Party is complicit with the genocide of the Palestinian people.
Yeah, we keep pushing till all Babylon attach. Knees never buckle, yet them off it steadfast.
Politicians who are supporting genocide, who aren't standing up, they're no vocal, they haven't made a declaration on Gaza and the deaths in Gaza. What we need to do is to say to them, well, we're not going to vote for you. It's as simple as that.
Out of the belly of the beast, Star Trek. One trip we from them, I go see the progress. Put to head, no other judge a project. We don't want nothing from Babylon. No satisfied till flames take Vatican. Slave master vanish like magician. We no ease up, we no dirty politician.
Good morning, everybody. Bonjour. A little bit bleary-eyed, but we can't complain as dwellers of the free world. Free world dwellers. Welcome to What the X, the most innovative live broadcast anywhere. So it's Monday. I realise I can't see my chat, but I can now. And just like that, I was confronted with the messages of humans. Now, where is my... Here we go. Please just bear with me now. Right. Anyway, good morning, friends, comrades, lovers, lurkers, loungers. Morning, everybody. Macapella, morning to you. Alpignon, CC, morning. Doreen, morning to you. Good morning, discontenters. Good morning to the discontented. Rona Whiffen, are you back from NOLA? What a lovely full house this morning. And there's people popping up in my Bodjaws McGlinty. It is always a pleasure. Life wouldn't be the same without Bodjaws. I promise you all, by the end of this week, I will conflate these chats so that you can all see, so everybody can see each other. How about that? We can all be seen. We're all seen anyway. Everybody wants to be seen, don't they? We're all desperate to be seen and heard. We all just want to be loved. There's a lot of love here. There's a lot of love in What the X. People think I'm a see you next Tuesday, but people that ken me, they ken I'm not really a see you next Tuesday. But I can be a see you next Tuesday. It just depends. It depends how you are. It depends who you are and how you are. Cliffy John, morning. That was some programme the other night. One of the worst ever. The worst programme ever. What a weird time we are living in, to say the least. Now, who else have I got here? Hola, CC, Ecop W, morning. The laughter of Carthage, morning. Zambo TV, good morning, Bob and all the Bobettes. I am honoured. Zambo has joined us. I love this guy. I love his videos. He was in Manchester in the Curry Mile. Did you get a curry? And if so, I think you said you were going to have a vegetable biryani. And you also said that you like to cook curries. So perhaps when we all meet in some event, Zambo can do the curry. Zambo can get a curry on the go. Sometimes I think I should go veggie, but I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it? Sacrificing the carne. Could I do it? Who is a veggie? Who's with us that's a veggie? I've got so much respect for David Graham Scott because he's been a vegan for about 150 years, even though he's only about 35. But it's like, anyway. Rona is back, unfortunately. Well, I saw your pictures. It looked like you had an amazing time, so I'm glad you got safely back. Morning to you, Madame Guy. Right, okay. Without further ado, a few things to I barbecue. Yeah, it's maybe that's the true conflict is between the meat eaters and the veggies. Maybe that is the ultimate thing that's wrong with the world. If we stopped, it is bad, like industrial slaughter of the wee animals and that, just to stuff ourselves. Still doing here, buddy. I am loving it. I'm loving it like that. The curry miles, the Swizziness. You know what? It's one city. What's this? RLF says veggie since '88. Do it, man. I tell you what, right? If I went veggie, oh man, like I would have to do. You know, like that would be like. If I went veggie, it would have to be like, it'd be like a sponsored walk. I'd have to like raise loads of money for some cause that I was felt particularly passionate about, and it would be a big sacrifice. But then you could argue, like, you know, that I've ate a lot of meat, and I'm no spring chicken. Maybe I've had my quota. That's when I stopped drinking. I was like, well, I've drank all the drink anyway. That's sometimes when people ask me about I'm drinking, I'm like, well, I had my quota early. I condensed it all in a period of time. Rocky Vibrations, good rising, Bob. What the ex-fam, hiya to you. Kit Kats, if I didn't eat my share of lamb boonas, their numbers would get out of control and they would take over. I like that. Population control. Boona control. Well, at least I can't. Look, I'll have to come back and look at the comments later. If I just spend my time enjoying your inter-commentary banter, then I won't be able to progress us further. But still, who cares, eh? There's no rules. Cliffy John was groaning about that programme thing. We'll come to that in a minute. There's a couple of things I need to get out of the way. First of all, where's my leaflets? I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Right. So, listen. Yesterday, you may have seen the. That's why I'm a wee bit bleary eyed. I had to edit that wee clip from yesterday's activities. And I didn't finish till quite late. It's just how it is, thanks to everyone that came yesterday and helped distribute these. We've been putting them out anyway, but there was a good wee crew came out yesterday and helped with that, and that was really cool. And it was a good team effort. Special thanks to Willie Black from the Gaza Emergency Genocide Committee, to Tora Burns, McKellar, Daddy Scotty as always. There were a few other cats popped out, and it was really cool. And and Katrina Grant, of course. Katrina came along. Who have I missed some? There are some others I've missed. Apologies, but the funny thing was, like, when we had the poster up on the side of the petrol station sign and that, and then when we'd left it there. We're like, we'll just leave it there because it's quite funny. A lot of drivers were tooting their horns and that. And then as we left to go and leaflet, there was a massive security operation came down from the Tesco's, and they'd obviously been getting themselves all prepped up to come and confront us. So we left just before that happened. So that would have been good. That would have been good content to have the confrontation, I suppose. But also, who gives a toss? No, really. I can't. I was, part of me was like, oh, I couldn't be arsed with having some jumped up jobs worth. But Katrina and that, they saw it all. They were pissing themselves. They were saying that there was like, they were all getting kind of, there was about 10 of them, and they were all like, right, this is it, right, we're going to go down and confront these Palestinian, these terrorists at the front, And apparently they all marched down in a big sort of group, and when they finally got there, we'd actually gone. So the one wee guy just kind of like walked up and pulled the poster off the thing, like, So it's quite funny. So sounded like a bit of a giggle. I missed the opportunity for the camera, and before I forget, big respect to Kip Cozy once again, who turned up with the lens. It's a team effort, so pure respect, bro, for doing that. Fantastic. Anyway. Is the music too loud? Is it that track is making me feel like I've got hiccups? I didn't choose this track. I can change it. I never did. Nobody gave me a levels check. You need to give me a levels check. That maybe you have got the hiccups. Right. What else do I need to cover? It's phasing in and out. Is there something wrong with the audio, like, or is it just doing that? Is that just how it sounds? Right. Well, I'm getting conflicting reports here. So he's telling me it's cool. He's going, nah, it's all right. Aye, just right. Well, what is it then? Fucking right. We need to start getting a jukebox. You can put 10 pence in it, change the tunes. That's an idea, actually. We should maybe do that. We should maybe create some thing. What do you call it? Some sort of app. No, I bet we could do that. I could figure out how to do that. Right. Right, cool name, bother. Anyway, yeah, like I say, so listen, there's a few more days before this election. Do you know what it was? Do you know what I enjoyed about it? I've got other footage that I'll edit up when I get a minute. It's there's a lot to get through. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying. Graham Hendry says, some drum and bass please. Right, well, we'll take a note of that. I've never once seen your name appear in the entire time I've been doing this, so we'll, like, if you're a new arrival, respect, you're more than welcome, you're all welcome, but like, some of the regulars, right, nah, didn't I start this? I should, I'm now getting, somebody's paid $1.99 for. Well, I'll get back to this. Right, I got myself. I've not got time to do requests today. I can see why DJs say that. I didn't do requests, say. Max Maxa, how does he cope? What does Max Maxa do when people ask him for requests? No, I'm not. I can see that I'm now getting peppered with. I should have just shut my mouth. Right. Anyway, night, Graham. It's lovely to see you. Right. Okay. So anyway, we've still got a lot of leafleting to do, and so if you want to assist with that, give me a shout and I'll meet you, or you can come and meet me, and I'll give you a bunch of leaflets and tell you where and I'll tell you where to stick them, eh? Just didn't do that thing that we used to do when we were kids, which was, what was it called again? It was the Edinburgh Advertiser. And they used to pay us. They used to pay us, the kids. They used to pay the kids to deliver them, right? And we would deliver them, like, well, we'd deliver them a bit. But then I remember one time we went. I was with my mates. I was playing down at the well, it used to be the railway bit, but it was down at the back of Hibs at Loch End, the tunnel bit, and we were mucking about there. And we went round, and there was thousands, tens of thousands that had been dumped, like, you know. The kids had obviously been getting the money. Like, I ain't bothering that. Just dumped them all. Yes, well, you'll need to link with me. Anybody that wants to canvas, send me a DM or something and link with me either just today or this later on today or whatever, or tomorrow, and I'll give you a bunch and I'll tell you where you can go and put them in the ward. I had a couple of interesting conversations with people in the ward yesterday, and there was one in particular. I've got it on camera. Morning all from Reykjavik and sunny Spain. Well, I love this international X. I like this international vibe that we've got going on. Do you know, here's a funny thing. We'll get on to it in a minute. Let me get back to, like, because Beldam Lascar's here and he was saying something about X or Twitter. And I've noticed a lot of chat about this, and it bothers me. I've got some opinions about X. I've got some very specific opinions about this about the platform of X, and there's a lot of people seem to conflate the platform with Musk himself, and I think that's not the wisest. That's not the best thinking. Like, that's no clever thinking. That's like saying you hate a restaurant because you hate the person that owns it. And it's like, I'm not sure about that. There's a lot of fare to be had in this particular. It's full of rages, it's full of nonsense, it's full of banners and that. But Twitter in its early days was, and there's loads of reasons why it's happened. I think there's loads of reasons and there's loads of things. It's far more complex than what people are making out. And I think there's a lot of reductive thinking here. Nothing really irritates me that much, but it does make me laugh. Some of the loudest critics of it are some of the most boring people that have ever existed, and they're kind of pissed off because they've actually you've got nothing to say, and that's what they're annoyed about, is that their sort of cultural capital is no longer relevant. They're basically irrelevant. You see them all whining about it. It's like, I don't think you really realise what's going on here, which is quite funny, to be honest. But no, is Musk a teapot? Obviously, but it's Macapella. Like, let's just be honest about it, right? Let's just make it straight, right? Macapella says it. Twitter's been better since Musk bought it. Indisputable, absolute fact. And anybody who denigrates it and talks about it and castigates it and dismisses it is the most incredible platform. It is the most phenomenal app that has existed since the birth of communicative capitalism. X is the most revolutionary, incomprehensibly brilliant app. It's so well designed in terms of how it's put together. If you're a producer or you're a creative person, the back end of it, the way that's set up, the editing facilities on it, it absolutely pisses on anything that Twitter ever started off as. When Musk first bought Twitter, I said to Nori Harman, I was like, this guy, you know, I had him as as a Citizen Kane kind of bam, you know what I mean? But I was like, this guy is going to absolutely, totally trounce the existing media market with this. He's going to make this the ultimate media platform, and that's what he's doing. I mean, the guy is an idiot, right, in many respects, right? His opinions are ridiculous, and his aesthetics are peculiar, are odd, you know what I mean? I kept saying he was like, I feel bad to compare him to Gary O'Connor, because I was sort of going, he was like the sort of Gary O'Connor in his ching phase, like sort of black teak and that, like, you know, I don't know, he's got some strange aesthetics, but there's so many things about the medium and the platform, and also just ontologically, anthropologically, it's fascinating, man, it's absolutely fascinating. And I was making a point the other day there about how suppressed my social media is, which has really pissed me off. It's quite serious, you know. It's obviously because I've been incredibly vocal on this particular issue, and I can't live stream on Instagram now. My Instagram is completely suppressed. My YouTube is massively suppressed, insane. Facebook, not even. There's no point in me even doing anything on Facebook. But for all X's flaws or whatever like that, it is that for now it's the one place where I actually don't seem to have as much suppression. And I was previously, I'd often get shadow banned, and I've had a lot of problems. And I'm not saying that all my posts are, and I'm not saying there is no censorship on X, because there definitely is, but there's far less censorship than the other social media platforms for now. But just as an app itself, in terms of what he's doing with it, in terms of what you've got to remember, it's not Elon Musk. It's like this thing's being put together by like some of the most insanely advanced minds in Silicon Valley or whatever. You know, this is go and choose. You know, I was talking about this to my mate the other day. It's like, oh, you don't like it, do you? Well, go and choose your other company that's owned by a billionaire muppet. You know, what kind of wide-ranging market is it that you think you can go to? There are the same people who go, oh, I'll go to Mastodon, I'll go to Blue Sky, because it's like, no, you want to go to your wee echo chamber with your wee, you know, bias confirmation, comfortable wee place and that. It's like, look, if you can't recognise how significant and important this particular platform is for the times, well, it's a kind of self-own. You're kind of publicly exposing yourself as an ignoramus. There's quite a lot of people doing that right now, which is kind of funny, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. No one wants a flounce. The amount of but it's true though. You know, it's like, it's a total dummy out the pram front, and it's dead funny as well. It's like, oh, you know, and then you look at what these people, how it's just, I'm not going to get into it too much, but it's pretty funny to observe. I'm not going to lie. I'm quite amused by it. But there's whatever you say about the guy, it is an amazing platform, and it's only getting better. It's only getting better. So, you know, it's only getting better. What have I done? Try to be clever. Right. What are we saying here? See, this is what I need. I do need to conflate these. Listen, there's a lot of, like, never mind what X is. Like, I've got quite a lot of technical stuff to deal with here, right? Which people didn't really understand, and I didn't really moan about it and that. Look at the state of the world. Look at the things that people have to deal with right now. You know, so our complaints are all relative, I think. You know, so I could whine. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that whining, moaning shite, right? But all I'm saying is there is quite a lot for me to do. Okay. No one wants a flounce. No. He's got money to get the best engineers, definitely. I mean, I can tell you right now, as a producer, it's very, very innovative, and there's loads of things about it that are like, wow, that's cool. George Patterson, great to see you. Without Twitter, I doubt I'd have been published. Never mind finding an audience for my inane scribblings. I tell you what, there's no. I must admit, I'm not a read, but I I'm a slow reader in that. But George Patterson is anything I have read of George is when he first wrote about his band, which was the greatest band you never heard or something, which is what I used to talk about Project Bonafide, like, because of the chaos that ensued there. But George is a phenomenal writer, and I would recommend his book, even though I've not read it, but I know it will be brilliant. And it's The Crow. I'll go and, I feel even terrible for not knowing the name of the book. George, remind me the name of your book, please, so that I can promote it. Bodger's McGinty, unpopular opinion. I like Musk. He will speed things up. To what end, I don't know, but somebody has to be the richest man in the world. I'm perversely glad it's him. Can't deny I'm interested to see what he does. It's like having a troll at the top. I can't entirely disagree with some of that. I don't know if I would go so far as to say that I like him, but I didn't hate him. I mean, it's like, you know, I'm not, I hate Elon Musk. It's like, right, okay, there's plenty, but, you know, I hate, okay, is Elon Musk's assimilation to the Zionists and that, oh, that's terrible, but it's like, well, so what about all the political class, right? Blah, 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 right, okay, anyway. Right. What a waffler. This is why you tune in. Hold on a minute. I'm not playing your. Thanks for the £1.99, but I'm not spending time trying to find tunes. Right, we better go and look in this thing, right? So this is what I was going to say. So when we went on the there's notifications as well into X. When I went into excuse me. When I went into so there was one particular woman, and she had her postal vote on her, and she was away to vote for Sheila Gilmore, and she read this, and she was like, I don't want to vote for this person anymore. And I was like, tidy. And she opened up her postal vote in front of us on the camera, and basically was like, well, what can I do? How can I? And I was like, well, I think you've invalidated your vote now by opening it. And she was like, all right. And I says, but maybe you could take your postal vote to the ballot, to the the polling station, and maybe they could figure something there out. And she's like, oh, there's a number on it. I'll try and phone the number on it. I'll try and phone the number on it. And but it was Sunday, obviously, so that didn't work. But it was pretty cool, because it was like, she was basically like, I'd gave her the leaflet as we went in, then we went and leafleted the stair, and then on the way back down the stair, she was like, excuse me, and she's like, what? She says, I've read your leaflet, and I was like, aye, and she's like, that, I don't want to vote for this person now. It's like, I didn't realise. I was like, so it just shows you, man, you know what I mean? And it was kind of cool, and it was like, and I said to her, look, it doesn't matter, like, you're better off no voting at all, really. It's like, didn't vote for any of them. But it was interesting, and there was a few other folk that we spoke to that was like, there was generally a very positive response to it. People are sick of politicians. They're sick of lying politicians, and when you actually get out there and talk to them, you know. So it does make a difference if people start to get involved in, you know. But you know, I've been banging this drum for a long time. I've been banging this drum. Right, George Patterson says, thanks Bob. My first book was The Girl, The Crow, The Writer and The Fighter, which I've heard is excellent, and it got great reviews. And my latest is Westerwick, both of which are available in all good bookstores and Info Creative. Right, so what I'm going to do, what have I done? Let's see what. Cannot. Here we go, right? Right, I'm popping this in this chat, right? This is from George. That's for George Patterson. So, intocreative.co.uk, and I guarantee you it will be it will be an enjoyable read and incredibly well written. You just can when someone can write. I mind I read the thing he put something up on a blog thing a few years ago, and it was just instantly, like, brilliantly. I remember telling him, I was like, this is amazing, you're a great writer. So, where are we going now? We're going into this. There's no such thing as a shameless plug. Chester Copperpot says, what's he replying to? That one thing I think that gets overlooked when talking about working class attitudes on Palestine is that people don't actually care enough at all, not because they're bad people, but because their focus is on providing their family and trying to make their ends meet. And I think there's a lot of truth in that, and I think that there's John White gave me a good quote, which was I'll add him in here, and it was I think it was bread before ethics, is it? I better check it. Bertolt Brecht, was it? Somebody want to Google it before I tweet it, before I make a teapot of myself. I think it was Bertolt Brecht, was it? Bread before ethics. Or grub first, grub first, then ethics or something, is it? Come on, somebody Google it. Bertolt Brecht, is it grub first? And it's true. People are, and it's not. There's nothing wrong with. And again, this is an indictment on wider culture and society. If you're going to ostracise working class communities, bread before ethics, is that right? Yeah. If you're going to Brecht, yeah. If you're going to ostracise communities in your own culture and society, and you're going to treat them punitively, and you're going to make people feel exiled in their own landscape, because you're bourgeois liberals, and you're going to vote in neoliberal political parties who are continually, you're going to cut fuel poverty. You're going to cut fuel poverty for old people. So a bunch of middle class people vote in the Labour Party. The Labour Party cut winter fuel allowance, and then the same middle class people tell everybody that we should be all constantly thinking about the Palestinian cause and what's happening to them, and that's where our energy should go. Well, the energies of people who are now trying to keep warm and try to put food on their table. It doesn't make any sense. We need to, as Gary Fraser was saying on Friday, that if we're not looking after our own communities, if we don't have a political structure that genuinely looks to try to invest in our own society, then we can't expect our population to suddenly be invested in the plight of other people who are being ill-served by neoliberal capitalism. It's not that complicated. Maslow's hierarchical needs, yes, Arpignon, exactly. Hierarchy of needs, yeah. And I think there's a lot of ignorance. Clean up the problem that's in your own backyard, yes. I think it's true, but then this is also a structural question of the neoliberal doctrine, the neoliberal political class, and why are we attacking a potential? Well, first of all, Sheila Gilmore is a careerist politician who took £16,000 on the condition that she would never stand again, because she'd basically had a feeding tube connected to the public purse for a long time. And they wanted rid of her because they said they wanted new blood in the Labour Party, and this is the most innovative thinking they can give us, to bring this kind of fossil back from. I couldn't remember what it's called, the Cretaceous period or whatever. Anyway, right, the retiree who wouldn't retire. So this is the new blood. Sheila Gilmore. This is the Labour Party's idea of the new blood. But you can see the contempt that the contemporary political class have got for us. If you look at the peculiar tweets of these narcissists. Scott Arthur, Chris Murray, Tracy, what's her name? The one down Leith. You know, it's peculiar, it's bizarre. It's quite a fascinating time. I'm not going to lie about that. I'm getting a bit sidetracked here. Best seat on the bus, all that best seat on the bus stuff and that, man. Wow, it's brutal, isn't it? But I tell you what it is as well. It's very clear that until you actually get into these communities, until you actually speak to people, all the social media propaganda in the world it is an echo chamber. And I have always known that. I've known that implicitly. I'll tell you a wee story, eh? When I ran against Robertson, and it was during COVID, and obviously the campaign was online, and it was a dynamic campaign, and I worked myself into the ground with it, but I did annoy the living out of them all, and it was funny. But I knew, because of lots of particular factors, it was clear to me that I actually got more votes than I had actually anticipated. I thought I would get about 300, and it was 300. I think it was 363 that I ended up with. So I ended up with 63 more votes than I actually thought I would actually have got. And so I always knew that it was impossible. But the best thing about it was, right, the thing that I loved it, because they all shat themselves, because all those apparatchiks and everything like that, they didn't had any notion that this would have happened. I exploded into their consciousness with this campaign that they had no knowledge of what I was going to do. And they were out pounding the streets, and I would see them all. And they were out there. They were leafleting. So I made them work. I made them work. You know. And in the end, Robertson was comfortable with his thing and all the rest of it. But it was like, I made yous work, man. I made yous work, because they're so lazy, and their existences exist so much online, and so much of public discourse is just derived from online, the media, the political class. So they just believe their own hype and everything. So they never knew. They didn't know what the impact of that online environment was to the material reality of the electorate. And so it was genuinely, that was, and I've got a lot of footage. You and Fleck did loads of filming off that period of time with me, and we kind of have it's almost like a documentary, but like so many things that I've got there, it's impossible for me to put that stuff together. It's a question of time, dollar, all the rest of it. I'm not in a position to put that stuff together yet. I'd like to be, but unfortunately I'm not. So there's a lot of stuff there that people would like to see. But hopefully we'll figure out, hopefully we'll build out and we'll be able to do that. As John McFadden says, it's so blatant that she's just after the moolah. Wake the fuck up, people. Yeah, but until you actually get out there, until you actually speak to people, until you actually communicate with them, until you actually hand them a leaflet and go boom, you know, they're caught in that. They're caught in that mindset, and it's very difficult. So that's why, you know, it's difficult when you're going up against the apparatus. And if you look at all those, when they're out with their groups of gimps, you know what I mean, trudging up and down, ringing all the doorbells and that, you know what I mean, unless you've got a big squad of people that are really able to do that, and you've got the dollar to get all that stuff together, it's difficult. But we've got to set that process in motion. We've got to let people know. We're post-politics, and that's where we're at. So it's almost like that's the thing that people really need to accept, is anybody that you're voting for a major political party is an utterly ineffectual. As John says, it's just a gig, it's just a career. Even when you go to the count, any count, that's the other thing, when you're actually at the count, it's very obvious, the whole thing, it's so obvious how kind of rigged and sort of bankrupt the whole thing is. It's just a game where they're like, oh, damn it, that person's got some job. It's basically, you see when you go to the count, right, and they all start cheering and everything like that, you know what I mean? It's just like the lottery. It's just like bingo or the lottery. They're like, fucking yes, that's 5 years of job security, a pension. You can just feel it. You can just feel every single success that's celebrated there is just a sense of people getting security on the public purse. It's fuck all to do with wanting to change society or make the world a better place. It is the concrescence of individualism just there in its most vulgar fucking expression of it. Especially when that last one that I managed to get myself into, when it was when Murray and that were there and we were heckling Murray. Do you know what I mean? It was that was kind of crazy, because it's the political class, and they know. And they all know what a game it is, and they all know that there is fucking no difference whatsoever between them with their different coloured rosettes. Like, they know that there is. They are the ones more than anyone. It's like that old adage about nobody's more aware that there's no God than a priest. Like, you know what I mean? It's that thing. It's like they know exactly that there is fuck all difference between who they are and all that performative shit, and that's why. People like political commentators or people that like to sort of opine about politics in this sort of like arse end of neoliberalism, you know what I mean, post-Blair kind of culture. I never really can. I can't take them seriously, you know, when they sort of try to delineate between the political class to any substantial degree. I just find it moronic, you know. Oh, still growing about Labour and the Tories and all the rest of it. It's like. But then they still want to talk about like as if they understand neoliberalism. You know, what is neoliberalism? Neoliberalism is the absolute transfer of all things into a commodity, into profit, even like anything, even thoughts. Like, you know, it's just the commodification of all and everything. And so long as you've got and then what is that an extension of? That's it's a corporatocracy or the corporocratic state. Okay, so you have. And what is the thing that defines a corporation, or is unaccountability? Okay, so by definition, your neoliberal political class are unaccountable. Why the fuck do you want a political class that are unaccountable? Why do you want a political class at all, right? But it's unaccountability, and that's why we've got this horror unfolding where human beings, people that actually care about humanity, are going. We're not into this. We're not into human beings being murdered and killed and all the rest of it. And the people that we've elected are like, yeah, we don't talk about that. And if you talk about that, we'll have you arrested. It's like, what? What are you all about? Right? It's the defining term of the neoliberal era is unaccountability. I don't want public representatives or those that are involved in deciding how our society is constructed to be unaccountable. I want them to be so accountable that, like, if they go in one week and do something, they can get to fuck the next. In fact, I would have it different. I would have it differently. I would actually have it, you know, that you know, it was a revolving term, really, you know. But that's another matter. I've got a lot of thinking on that. We'll come back to that another time. I seem to be talking a lot this morning. I think it's a lack of sleep. George Patterson says, neoliberalism, capitalism seems to be the never-ending cycle of nationalise the debt, privatise the profit. Yes, because consumer capitalism exists on debt. That's the thing. It's a Ponzi scheme. The whole thing is about that, you know. Yeah, nationalise the debt, privatise the profit. What did Gore Vidal say? He said. What's his state about free enterprise for the rich? So what was it? What's that great quote that he said? Is it free? I can't remember. What is that? What's that classic Gore Vidal quote? I used to rattle these things off. Those were days. Gutter Blood Band. I'm recording with Gutter Blood Band in a week. I'd be a liar if I said I wasn't quite excited about it. I'm really enjoying working with Gutter Blood. The challenge is maybe to show the connection between what the UK is complicit with in Palestine and how it directly affects folk. How it directly affects normal folks in their day-to-day lives. Well, it affects them when we know that the aside from the actual inhumanity of allowing us to our weapons manufacturers to supply the arms. That's it. Free enterprise for the poor and socialism for the rich. Yeah, I'm just a bit slow this morning. Good old Goa. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Hold on a minute. I've been bombarded by messages this morning. I'm into it. It's good. I like that. I like that level of activity. It's just a bit overwhelming for my head. I've got 4 screens here. I'm going to cut because of that. I need to respond to somebody. I'm going to cut to the equivalent of a commercial break. I'll be back in a second.
The council are the biggest f***ing mafia known to man. Edinburgh Council, they are the gangsters. But like Edinburgh, all our f***ing families have been displaced and we can't get houses next to each other anymore. And that's because of immigration and the way that the mid-market rents have came up. And that's not like, oh, we shouldn't have immigration, because we should have immigration. But we should also have priority needs within the council. Like the council are the biggest f***ing mafia known to man. Like they are the gangsters. Edinburgh Council, they are the gangsters. Have you seen the way people get treated through temporary accommodation, especially men? Lassies get treated shit. But if you're a guy seeking a duty of care for Edinburgh Council, it is disgusting. And that's part of our drug deaths, that's part of our mental health problems, that's part of our failed society. But these guys stand up like Cammy Day there, talking about new measures, new punishments, new this, but they're also complicit in it. And that means like when they took away the old Pennywell, the old Muirhouse, the old Niddrie, and then replaced them with mid-market rents, the mid-market rents weren't for the people who actually existed there beforehand. So that means that they're outpriced in their own area and then moved to other areas. And what that means is like the problem is now removed and put into other places. Like we should have immigration, we should have foreigners coming into this country, working their arses off, doing their thing. Like I'm no Tommy Robinson here. Like I absolutely believe that we should have a kind and compassionate and empathetic look at refugees, etc, and stop all the bullshit and all the hating on them. But if we can treat that type of individual and that type of family with empathy and compassion, we can also do that with our own. It doesn't have to be, why does a serviceman no get, and this is part of this, believe it or not. The wee guys doing the fireworks thing and doing the rioting is part of this, because it's about abandonment, it's systematic failures and no accountability. That's part of the problem.
All things and all people in Gaza.
We're not a council meeting, this is a hospital, so how can there be a point of order? Local representative who's complicit with genocide. Don't tell me issues.
The Labour Party lead the government and the Labour Party lead the council. Keir Starmer's refusal to stop arms sales to Israel, to cease the supply of weapons used to murder, maim, and annihilate all things and all people in Gaza is an affront to humanity. And I put it to you that it is therefore unconscionable for anyone to cast a vote for Sheila Gilmore and our genocide complicit Labour Party. That's my opinion on that.
We're on a council meeting. This is a hustings. How can there be a point of order?
Absolutely nothing.
How's it nothing to do with this election?
Okay, sorry, I'm not.
You want to get in an ideological debate? We can have that after. Let the people ask questions about the whole council then. Okay. I don't want a local representative who's complicit with genocide. All right? Don't tell me issues.
You are here to serve. You are here to serve.
Okay. Sir, please, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. You're not going to...
You're asking me?
No, I'm not asking.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I'm not really sorry. Just, but I'm back. Oh man, yeah, that's actually what I was. Ah man, like, what about that, eh? Right, so there's a couple of things to say about that, right? So, again, I've got more footage of that. I need to I know that Bojaws McGinty was going, can we see the whole thing in that? It's like, aye, but it's still me that's got to edit it, and I've still got to get the footage. It was on the live stream thing, but it's not a very, you can't really see what happened, and you can't really hear either because the way the audio is. So, but all of that, you're here to serve us. The guy was quiet, right? The guy wasn't interested in it. As soon as I mentioned Gaza, just blew up. Point of order, what, in a public meeting? Next thing, so I went to the Gaza Emergency Genocide Committee. We went on the protest, we walked to the US Embassy, there's a bunch of speakers there. And I spoke at Wellington statue up at Princes Street, right? Because I was like, come on the Sunday I was asking people to come and help participate in yesterday's event, right? And once I had come down from the platform bit or whatever, and I was in the crowd, two different guys came up to me, right? And the first guy come up to me and he's like, let me do an impression of him. Is that music too loud? I goes to him, he goes to me, I have to take you to task over the way you've written your brochure. You've got writing, and I don't think that, I think that that's badly worded, and I think you need to change that wording. And he's like, what the fuck are you telling me? You need to change this, and you need to change that. And I'm like, what? I was like, well, what does it matter to you? Like, what's it about? Well, I'm just saying, and I was like, this is kind of weird kind of vibe, right? And then he goes, he goes to me, some big tough guy, right? And then he goes, I'm an anarchist. It's like, are you? I says, well, why don't you come and help us distribute some of these leaflets? And he goes, it's not in my constituency. Right. Then the other guy, he comes up to me, and he's like, so about 5 minutes later, right, I'm talking to my mate Chris, and about 5 minutes later, this other boy comes up to me and says, can I have a word with you about another fucking posh cunt, right? He's like, can I have a word with you about your duty? I was like, could you come over here? He's like, can you come over here, like away from everybody and that? He's like, what the fuck is this? So I go to the side, and he's like, I'm looking at your literature, I'm looking at your leaflets, and you've not put the details of the Electoral Commission and all this kind of, like, you've not put your details of all this stuff, and I was like, well, what does it matter? Like, why? What's the... And he goes, I'm just offering some friendly advice. I was like, well, what's your name then? And he's like, and then he sort of like started to like, and then I was like, and then so I started asking like on the front foot, right? I started walking forward to him and like asking him, because I was getting, I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to, right? And it was like, he goes, he was going on about this, and I says, so what, you're concerned that I'm going to fulfil some legal implications? He's like, yeah, sure. And I says to him, I said, so you're against the genocide, right? I swear he couldn't even fucking answer. He was like, I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing here? Spooks. Everywhere you go now, if you're going to mention this issue, if you're going to be public about the murder of human beings, the relentless, ceaseless, diabolical, astronomical, fucking horrendous, inhumane, incompetent, it's an affront to our consciousness, it's an affront to our existence. They are murdering children, they are relentless. You don't need me to tell you what is going on, right? We are all aware of what's going on. And if you can't find it in yourself to do something, anything at all, right? Deliver a fucking leaflet. Go to a fucking protest. Yes, I've been critical of aspects of the protests, right? But I still respect every single person that takes the time to go to those protests. But even those protests have got fucking spooks there, right? Why is the state so concerned? Why is the state so concerned? And we elect these parasites, right? We elect these public parasites. We are post-politics. These people do not represent society, and they certainly don't represent humanity. And therefore it is our responsibility to do something about that. Even if it's something small, do something. Don't ignore it. Because as Daddy Scotty and I speak about, we say, you know, if they can do it there, they can do it here, they can do it anywhere. That's the bit when Gutter Blood said, you need to connect, like, why are these things connected? That's why it's connected. I will give you, I guarantee you, we will have Lothian Borders or Police Scotland, whatever it is, right? We will have Police Scotland drones surveying our schemes and environments and telling us to disperse from areas within a year or two. It is a very short space of time before that tech finds its way in our domestic police market, right? We're surveyed, we're a threat to the state just for thinking, all right? So we need to start thinking about this seriously. They don't show us it because they want to censor it. They show us it to intimidate us, to make us shut up. Look at what we do to what's the most important thing in your life, right? If you're a parent, it's your child. It's your child, right? You carry it about. You carry it about in your body, for fuck's sake, right? You somehow get it out your body, then you spend every waking moment trying to keep it alright and fucking like look after it and spend the rest of your life in a state of perpetual anxiety in case something fucking happens to it, right? These animals, these psychopaths, these sick bastards, right? Look at what they're doing to children, right? Look at the absolute annihilation. What do children represent? They represent the ultimate freedom and liberty. That's why they kill them. That's what the psychology is. That's why they kill the kids. As Willie Black was saying yesterday, I'll edit that clip again so I've got the other clip of it where he's talking about when those racist football fans were singing, you don't need any schools in Gaza because there's no children left. This is the ideology, this is the psychology of the society that we are funding and giving them their weapons, right? And we can't heat our own pensioners. We can't give our pensioners fuel to stay warm. We can't keep food at a level that allow people to live a life of dignity where they can put food on their table and they can still manage to, like, you know, they're stripping the dignity from our humanity. And parasites like Chris Murray and Blair McDougall and Tracy, whatever her name is there, and Scott Arthur, who live in their bourgeois ideals, who sit and sup off the public purse, they don't even have the integrity or the dignity to shut the fuck up and just get on with it. They've got to publicly go out there because they're such narcissistic sociopaths. right? We didn't get to this point. People say, look at, oh, he's outspoken, he goes and does all this stuff. Is that? Do you think I did it for the betterment of my own person? You know, I can tell you right now, right? If you think I have some grand rewards for the position that I take, you're sorely mistaken. But I don't subscribe to that type of culture. I don't come from that generation where I come out and I bleat like a little fucking bitch about everything that's fucking wrong for me. So cunts fucking get their wallets out and start flinging me fucking dollar, right? Oh, fucking like that. Like, look at the state of the world, right? If you think I'm one of those cunts, well, you know that I'm not, because I didn't do that, right? Respect to yourself, Gerald Southern. Respect to yourself, bro. Anyway, send me a DM. Give me a link later on. Let's hand these out in the community. In Oxgangs, in Colleton, in Firhill, in Fairmill Head, in Comiston, in Bonally, in Hunters Tryst, in Redford and Swanston. And tell people not to vote for this fucking parasite, right? Don't fucking vote for this parasite. Don't vote for any of these fucking parasites. Yeah? The neoliberal party political class are a scourge on humanity. They are a scourge on society. They're an insult. They are an insult to our consciousness. And we need to liberate our consciousness. The two most important terms in our current paradigm are capitalism and consciousness. These are the most important things. What is your consciousness? What do you allow? What do you allow to frame your consciousness? Who do you allow to dictate what your consciousness is constructed of? Lenin said it, Trotsky said it, Marx said, I think Marx said it as well. The ideology of the people is, the ideology of the ruling class is the ideology of the people. Well, we have a responsibility to alter that if possible. And maybe it starts here, on What the X. And on that note, I am going to leave you. And I'm going to leave you with Rima. We don't want nothing from Babylon, because we don't want nothing from Babylon. See us on Wednesday at 6 for What the 6. Ciao.
Fox News alert millions of American families.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining us for CBN News.
Done one step ahead of them. If them want make a better again, them a go fall like. Watch how we step when we walking. Lyrics them a menace, I feel leave blemish. Long time ready for the Gideon, yeah this. I go leave Babylon a ball in a crevice. We don't want nothing from Babylon. No satisfied till flames take Vatican. Slave master vanish like magician. We no ease up, we no dirty politician. Snakes in the grass where them waiting on. Said them a take orders from England. Pussy never know we African. Can't take we out of the motherland. See them a get frightened when warriors are past. If a righteousness we fussing at the class. Yeah, we keep pushing till all Babylon attach. Knees never buckle, yet them off it steadfast. Enough things sell on the black market. Everything white, them a say Christ go and check. Check in a Christ name of them go and take. Wipe out flat line wherever them step. Watch them a set another black target. Out of the belly of the beast start trek. One trip we from them a go see the progress. Put to head know that Jaja protect. We don't want nothing from Babylon. No satisfied till flames take Vatican. Slave master vanish like magician. We no ease up, we no dirty politician. Snakes in the grass where them waiting on. Said them a take orders from England. Must you never know we African. Can't take we out of the motherland. Come with them illusions to face. Never make solutions, no way. What a time so crucial, yeah. Time get brutal, yeah. More time them talk empty. And no even else can tempt we. Nothing in the world them can tell me. Me just a glance to Babylon plenty. Good over evil a Jah overcome. Night till a morning them get chant down. Sword and a shield all imposter fi run. From long time iniquity a fi done. You must think that we forget. Nothing nice come out of Babylon yet. Them get hypocrite me just can't take. Babylon a listen a fi change dialect. We don't want nothing from Babylon. No satisfied till flames take Vatican. Slave master vanish like magician. We no ease up we no dirty politician. Snakes in the grass where them waiting on. Said them a take orders from England. Must you never know we African. Can't take we out of the motherland. So call in Jah messenger. You have to listen this your message, yeah. The fight is spiritual, not physical. And Babylon a do the typical. So call in Jah messenger. You have to listen this your message, yeah. The fight is spiritual, not physical. Ooh, yeah. Burning higher, fire blaze higher. Raise it higher, flame it higher. Banner wave higher, consciousness higher. Take it higher, Babylon fire. Burning higher, fire blaze higher. Raise it higher, flame it higher. Banner wave higher, consciousness higher. Take it higher, Babylon fire. We don't want nothing from Babylon. No satisfied till flames take Vatican. Slave master vanish like magician. We no ease up, we no dirty politician. Snakes in the grass where them waiting on. Said them a take orders from England. Must you never know we African. Can't take we out of the motherland. We don't want nothing from Babylon. No satisfied till flames take Vatican. Slave master vanish like magician. We no ease up, we no dirty politician. Snakes in the grass where them waiting on. Said them a take orders from England. Must you never know we African. Can't take we out of the motherland.